Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here. We have got episode number 12 of the Glory Hunter Challenge. In today's episode, we'll have our first ever game in the Champions League. After a fantastic year last year, finishing inside the top 4 and winning the Conference League, we have qualified for the Champions League in Season 2 in charge of West Ham. If you haven't watched the last 2 episodes, you will not know that we have changed the squad massively. I do know that the episode number 10 was quite lengthy in that process, so if you want to see thinking behind, go watch that one. If not, watch the start of episode 11. And of course, we did win on the opening day against Brentford as well. So without further ado, we're going to do the group stage draw first, and then we're going to run through the results since we have last met as well. It's also approaching deadline day. I'm expecting to be well tucked up in bed, as the saying goes. And here we go. The group stage. We are in pot 3, which means straight off the bat, we cannot be drawn with Milan, Atlanta, Bayer, Dynamo, or Shakhtar, you know, all the lads on the screen. I really do hate that they move away from this as well. Steven Gerrard's in charge, lad. But yeah, I really do hate that they move away from this. The group stage drama is so massive of the Champions League. I really do think they'll do it for 1 or 2 years, realise it's flopped, and then change back. But yeah, here we are. Look, pot 1, away we go. They go in order, which is fine. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, and there we go. All right, and pot 2, here we go as well. Now, we can't get drawn in any group, so we can't be drawn with Bayern because they've got Spurs. We can't be drawn in any group where an English side has fallen. So, 3x speed, start the draw. Maybe 2x speed. Alright, so we can't go into this group here, so we avoid Porto, which is a sad thing, because we rather would have got Porto. Out goes Milan. That's okay. Monaco, Madrid. Look, we beat Monaco in a friendly, so I don't mind this one. Atletico Madrid, or whatever. Atlanta, very even group, that one there in Group B. Group C's Ajax and Dortmund. Definitely wouldn't mind this group, because we are a better team than Ajax. We would beat them. We do get it. That's actually a really good draw for us there as well. So there we go as well. I think that's a great draw. I would not have minded a technical group as well. Now in group, now just having a look at the lads here. You've got Olympiacos, Slovenian, who we played last year, Marseille, Valencia, young boys. In our group, we've already got Ajax, so we can't get anyone else. We've got Dortmund. There's no German team, so all the teams are available there. As part of me that's like, give me a really easy side. We're going to finish probably second in the group, and that's fine and well. But there's also part of me that's like, give me Marseille or Valencia, so then there's potential to finish third, so we go into the Europa League. But yeah, there we are. Let's see who we get now. Who are we going to get? Young boys. Look, as things stand, we should definitely finish third, which is great, or higher. So that's a good thing. But I really do think we beat Ajax home and away. So that is a really good draw to make it through to the next round of the Champions League. Look, so be it. At some stage, we're going to have to win the Europa League. It just might be that we're that good that this won't be the year because the squad is in a really good spot. But there we are. First thing we'll say is because of our results of last year and the new season clicking over, we've gone from 3 to 3.5 star, which is really great for future jobs, is the first thing. Secondly, squad's in good shape apart from a couple knocks. Thirdly, since we last met, we beat Norwich 3-0 in a game where we went full strength, absolutely dominated, looked really, really good, and the boys played well. We then played Watford and we won 5-1, but look at the team that filtered in. Danny Ings up top, Zanola was amazing. We fully rotated in this one. I'm actually going to show you the goals because Zanola was outrageously good in this game, like outrageously good as well. Did start with a pretty funny own goal, which just wishes Zuma headed home. But yeah, we are all good in this one. Like Zanola picks it up. Danny Ings here. Zanola through, one touch. This guy could be just as good as Bowen, if not better already, and younger. So yeah, it's coming down to a fact that we might need to sign him. Just note that we have started conceding like 1 goal a game sort of thing. So Pickford's start touch shaky. But, you know, none of the goals have been his fault. Anyway, Zanola again. Danny Ings, great run, onside, and Danny Ings doesn't miss, mate. So there we go. And Danny Ings did set up a lot. And then this run from Marino just really shows the box-to-box role and how elite it is. Marino wants a new deal, wants to be first choice, which is fair enough. But there we are, box-to-box getting forward. Great finish there as well. And then they went down to 10 men, and we scored one really late, going 4-2-3-1, trying to pile on the pressure. And we did find a mistake. Zanolo, one touch. Backman should have saved, but again in the right area as well. And then the last game we played Leeds, dominated 1-2-1. We were very good in the game. Calvert-Lewin with a brace as well, which means he's got 3 goals in 3 league games. But yeah, look, midfield-wise looking good. Team's doing well. Able to give most of the rotated players at least 1 game in the league already against Watford, which is great. And that's what I am going to do, is like in those games, as long as it's not like massive in terms of where the points are, etc., I will be playing the second string team around as well. Now let's go and have a look at who our first game is. It's actually Young Boys away. Look, I should give it to you because it's momentous, because it is our first game of the Champions League, but that should be a pumping. I think this Ajax game at home is massive. We don't play anyone else massively big in the league there too. I'm going to give you 2 home games for this episode. The next part of this episode, I'm going to give you Ajax at home in a massive game, and then we're going to go 4 days later to play Spurs at home in the league, which could be monstrous as well. I know that means that I haven't really given you a game then the whole of September, but yet again, Aston Villa, Wolves, Brighton, we should be beating. Arsenal's a difficult game. Young Boys, we should be beating easy. Like, I'm actually, before the Aston Villa and the Wolves game, I'm probably going to fully rotate against Young Boys, to be fair, as well. And then as you can see in October, a big month there, I would give you Ajax and Spurs, and I would give you Dortmund and Chelsea as 2 double headers to see how we go there as well. So without further ado, that's going to be what's in this episode, and I'll see you guys in a second for the Ajax game. So, welcome back, YouTube. It is match day 2, Champions League Group C, and we take on Joachim Löw, that is correct, Joachim Löw, former German boss's Ajax here at the London Stadium. Since we last met, we are definitely going to recap the last month of fixtures, which should have been fairly winnable, and I think if you can tell from the league table that they are. And secondly, more importantly, I do want to show you guys this, which is the Glory Hunter chart that we'll be using to track our results. As you can see there's a lot of colours going on. I'll just explain everything. Glory Hunter title, season, team that we're with, league title, domestic cup, UCL for the Champions League, UEL for the Europa League, UCEL, which we already have ticked off here for the Conference League, World Cup and the Euros. Those are the competitions we are looking to win. I have got down here in other honours as well: Club World Cup, International League Toby, Super Cup. If we do end up winning a Cabaret Cup, or like the Italia Super Coppa, or anything like that, Community Shields, we'll list that down as well, put in there the year that we won it and how many times we won said competition as well. And then lastly, the colours. Neutral colour here for the team, which is fine. Everything else there, totals, etc. Because it'd be nice to see, you know, we might nearly need to win each domestic cup once, but we might, say for instance, spend a bit of time in Germany with Bayern trying to win the Champions League, and we don't do it for the first few years. And then in the end, we won 3 titles there, you know, so it'd be nice just to track those results. But yeah, and then you'll see the colours here. Green means tick, good year for that particular trophy, like the UCEL here, that's fine. Here, as you can see with the World Cup years, green in the years of not a World Cup, red in the years of a World Cup because we did not win a competition, or we haven't won the competition yet, as yet not played. And then obviously in those years there, we'll tick off if we win it or not. Red being bad, green meaning good, you done it. And hopefully we're going to see some green ticks in those ones there as well. The reason why I put these as green, you can't win it. I'm tempted to put them as neutral. I'll put them as neutral once we've passed those seasons there. Because you're not expected to win it, of course, as well. Same with the Euros, tick them all off there. I'm pretty sure I've got all that right, so interesting to see. And then reds where we don't have it completed. Hopefully, see that all is green because it means we completed it. And now I've marked these as yellow because I don't think we're expected to win the league, the domestic cup, and obviously we weren't in the UCL or the UEL. But I could technically mark it as red because we didn't complete it in that season, which I might do as well. Same way with this, where obviously going to now tick that off as, well, I'm going to mark this off as us not being in the competition, and I'm going to leave that as not being in the competition for now, but we'll see how we go. And then obviously we're in this competition, and that competition for the year. But that's how we're going to fill it out and work through this little chart, and as we go through the seasons, we'll link it down. Lastly, I've put a note section in just so we can stay up to date. So here in season 1, we were with West Ham, we were in the UCL, and top 4 is what we did. UCL winners and top 4. I won't even put West Ham in there as well because season 1 equaled, you know, we're in the team. UCL winners, top 4 EPL is what we're going to put. And as you can see, that's the notes we're going to put in, and just go down the list whenever we complete something and just see what we can do as well. So that's the chart. And without further ado, let's get into the Ajax game here as well, and hopefully we get a lot more green ticks, etc. So since the last month, since we decided that we were going to play a month into the future. We drew 2-2 to Arsenal in a pulsating game. Wish we did it. It was very even. It deserved a draw, you would say, statistically. We did lead in the 83rd, conceded pretty much from kickoff as well. But look, I'm happy with a draw away at there at Arsenal as well. We beat Aston Villa 1-0 before we fully rotated here against Young Boys in the Champions League first match day. Absolutely dominating, XG of 4+, and well, the boys went well. Zanolo is the man to speak about here though at the minute. If we can bring Zanolo back up. He is playing out of his skin. He's currently playing as a world-class talent. That is correct. He is our best player here according to the game. If you go to club information, Zanolo is the best player, and that's because his form in the Champions League sublime. He's also got five goal contributions in 7 matches in the league at a 7.29. This 50 mil price tag is looking absolute killing there, and he's been great off the bench too. We beat then Wolves 2-0, Leeds 3-1 in the Cabaret Cup, and we beat Brighton 2-1 in a game that we very much dominated. Conceding the 65th and then held on for dear life. In these games, we've been dominant. We've been really good on the ball, and this team is absolutely purring without Declan Rice, which is superb. That leaves us after 8 games played, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 8 games played, 7 wins, 1 draw, and we're on 22 points, equal top with Liverpool, 1 point ahead of Manchester City, and a goal difference of 24 and only 6 against in 8 matches. It's not too bad, which means the likes of Pickford have had a pretty good start to their career here, which is great. It also means the players that we have picked in, like Sasado, have had a pretty good start too, and it'll be interesting to see how we go here today. Now, in terms of the team, I do play Ariel in the Champions League because that's part of his contract. Gomez, Zuma's been dealing with this little knock where it means that Chris Smalling's been playing a lot, and look, to be fair to Chris Smalling, I have no issues in playing him because he has been fantastic in the games he has played so far. But I am going to start zooming here. Akoli and Estupian. Caleb Akoli's been in outrageous form this year, starting to develop. He did decline slightly in his balance. We're now working on getting that back. He's going to be fantastic nonetheless. Estupian, Souček, Sasito in the box-to-box has been outrageous. Lewis Pasquetta. Bowen does start. There's going to become a time where I'm going to have to make a decision where Marcus Thuram goes out the team, Bowen to the left, or Zanolo for Bowen straight out. But I do like using Zanolo off the bench as a change there, which is perfectly fine. He is actually injured and coming back from injury, so he does miss out today, does Zanolo. Marcus Thuram on the left, and Calvert-Lewin has been in outrageous form himself and has currently got 8 goals in 7 appearances, has not played he played 1 off the bench very late doors in the Champions League to rest Danny Ings, but he's absolutely pairing at the minute and proving to be quite the Premier League striker and kind of the player to bring in as well. So without further ado, let's get into this game here against Ajax, and it'll be interesting to see what their team looks like here as well. And let's get into it here. Ajax are lining up with Rulli, Justin Timber, who's outrageously good, Edson Alvarez, outrageously good, Calvin Bassey, outrageously very over physical, physically dominant. Kenny Taylor, one of the wonder kids on FM, Klaassen, Kudos, another great player that they have, Dusan Tadic, Bergwijn, and Steven Bergus up top, who's a decent striker there too. You might know some players off the bench. Vallejo's here now as well. Walter Berger, Davon not staying. Davon Wrench, who's a wonder kid on FM who usually goes very well. Florian Nunez is another one there that people may know. Mohamed Darmian, and again, quick player. So a lot of good talent. This is the problem getting Ajax early. They're generally a good side before. Usually what the AI does with Ajax is they sell off all their good talent and buy a lot of old age players, which is against their nature, but it is how the game generally goes. Now, let's get into the preference on the front foot. Massive game here. We won on the opening day, beating Ajax, who will put us in the driving seat to make it out of the group. There is part of me, though, that is happy finishing 3rd, because that means we'll be in the Champions League, in the Europa League, and that's a competition I think we would definitely be favourites for if we were in it. Saying that, though, we're having such a good year. Why not mix it with the big boy straight away? And who knows, maybe this is the start of something special in the Champions League. Without further ado, let's get into it here after the Champions League anthem has blurted out around the London Stadium. And I think if we want to come out the group in the top 2, we need to win this. Obviously, after this year, the league phase falls away. The group stage falls away and it goes into the league phase, which is detrimental to winning the Europa League. Long gone are the days of getting into the Champions League, then going into the Europa League, finishing 3rd. Which means that you'd rather just finish in the Europa League spots. Anyway, Akoli sweeps up there after Burgess gave it back to us. Zuma with the knock. Souček now with the ball. finds Salcedo, looks for Tarum in behind, doesn't find him, but, you know, Pasqueta's good at winning the ball. Calvert-Lewin with a turn and a hit and just over the bar. And 25 minutes played, it's 0-0. Highlight straight away, though, for Rulli. Finds a Bassi. Edson Alvarez, and look, it's Ajax, they'd be good from playing out from the back. Tadic now, and a one down the line to Burgess, who pulled wide from the striker roll. Inside of Tadic, good movement. Big switch of play out there to Bergwijn, and numbers queuing in the box now for Ajax as they build out very well from the back. Owen in the area, Bowen wins the ball and keeps it in play, and Gomez now, Zuma, finds Areola, a collie, straight to Souček, a collie, and then for whatever reason, decided to go to Tarum instead of a Estupiñán. But well played out in the end, and this is the football that we've done. We've been brave, we're bold, we play through presses, and Calvert-Lewin dropping into that pressing forward, and, well, that wasn't on the script. Tadic now with a big chance. Bergwijn is there, Areola's beat, and we're 1-0 down because that isn't offside. Played out well. The ball to Tarum was not right, but Tarum did the right thing, and that movement we've been getting from Calvert-Lewin when he drops in, he just misplaces the ball to Souček. If he makes a simple 5-metre pass, Bowen's out the other side. We've got the fullback and Joe Gomez. We're out. Maybe Pickford makes the save there over Areola, but it's not Areola's fault, even though the game will say it's his mistake for coming out, which is what he should do in that role. And we're 1-0 down at home, which is not a good position to be in. Salcedo now gets pitch-pocketed by Kudos. We are being manhandled in the middle of the park. Mercifully, that's over the bar. I'm going to tell us the demand a little bit more in here because we're not playing well. Not keeping the ball enough, creating chances, but not clinical enough. And we've had 9 shots, only 1 on target, and we're 1-0 down. Kenneth Taylor heads into the bar and over. Could have been 2-0 down approaching half-time. Not in a good position at the moment at all here. Half-time at 0-0. Thrash the arms. We need to do a bit better. Yeah, we've been good, but nothing to write home about being good in terms of possession. That's a great ball from Pasqueta, though, to Tarum. Numbers in the box now and queuing. So he looked back at Pasqueta, who can hit him from distance. Decides against it, Salcedo now. Pasqueta. Bowen's offside, and he missed anyway. Good ball. At some point, we're going to have to go 4-2-3-1 here. Corner, though. Jared Bowen. Front stick looming here for Kurt Zouma. A collie's there, too, and he heads over. Highlight again. We have been the better side in creation, but we haven't had enough of the ball. We usually dominate the ball too, but, you know, Ajax are a possession-hungry team. Bergwijn, that's Gomez stepping in. That's the press that we know. Bowen now. Calvert-Lewin, wasn't into the space. And here they come again. It's that last final ball. We just have not been good enough at finding that final pass here tonight. Bassi, Kudos. Salcedo eats them alive all the time and he wins the ball back. The great ball to Tarum. He's in one-on-one. What a finish. What a goal. Salcedo proving the $70 million worth right there and then. Heavy touch. Picks it up. Ball into the space. Marcus Thuram's there. And that is 1-1. And that's a great finish too from Marcus Thuram. But yeah, poor touch. Salcedo wins. 2 touches. Great run from Thuram from deep as the inside forward. And well, that's a finish. And that's 1-1. 55 minutes played. Time ticks away here, 60 minutes. Few people a little bit tired out there. Marcus Thuram legless, Calvert-Lewin legless. Vlasic is actually having a really good year for us, coming from loan. He's had one goal there, but he scored 2 goals in the cup. Didn't score in the league in the last Champions League game, but he got a 7.7. So we are going to put him in there, which is fine. Danny Ings for Calvert-Lewin is like for like, and we will put over to the advanced forward there as well. Zuma's playing with that knock, but is in pretty good spirits. But I think we're going to get Chris Smalling in not to waste his injury there. Midfield's having a pretty good game, so we're going to leave that for now. No, I'm not. Marino's going to come in for Souček. We're going to move Salcedo back a line. I think is what we're going to do. We're going to make that change too, 66 minutes. I'm not going to go 4-2-3-1. If we're 1-0 down, I would. At 1-1, and we've been the better creating side, I'm going to leave it at this right now. As Marino goes down, falls to Gomez, cuts it. Marino there, and I tell you what, Timber's blocked it. Vlasic keeps it in play. Danny Ings is there. It's blocked. It falls back to Danny Ings. The consistent pressure there in the 67th minute as told. 2 goals in quick succession. And after a few different blocks and whatnot, finally Danny Ings in the box puts it in. And it's 2-1. Marino blocked by Timber. Vlasic kept it in. Effort blocked, falls to Danny Ings. It was actually blocked by Owen, who knew nothing about it. Keeper was left helpless as he was trying to save the Danny Ings cutback. And just like that, I think Vlasic has been credited the assist because his rating went up. 73 minutes played. Dia Rastica for Pasquetta like for like. And I think that is the last change. 3, 4, and 5. Not going to change the system. We've been the better side creatively, and their possession hasn't really hurt us at all, bar the one mistake we made. Time is ticking away, though. And with that being said, I am going to move the tempo down slightly, move us into some frequent time wasting, play for a set piece if we do get the ball, and out of possession, just drop off the standard and do that slightly as well. Free kick here, we are going to move to cautious as well. Dear Rastikov from scoring range, though, to put the game beyond doubt. Steps up, gives some time wasting, hits it into the bar, and will whisk her away from sealing a win here at the London Stadium in the Champions League. 89 minutes played, probably the highlight. Smalling switches to Gomez. The game's going to give us the highlight. Marino, Bowen, Danny Ings in again. He finishes, isn't onside. I thought borderline. I thought it might have been just off, to be fair. We're celebrating, which means it's a goal. And there it is. And look, we do score in the 90th minute. That's the sealer. Danny Ings off the bench for 2 goals. Marino, Bowen, first time well onside, to be fair. And Danny Ings doesn't miss them. And that is 3-1 and all she wrote. And from 1-0 down, we win in the Champions League. And we're going to be on 6 points from 2 games. I will say my eyes do not deceive me. Danny Ings is half a foot offside there. Poor from VAR, but VAR makes those mistakes quite regularly on FM. But there we go. For whatever reason, the lines were drew from his back heel, not where his toes are. But that is 3-1. We win. Absolutely dominated. 24 shots, 8 on target. XG of 3.67. We've been some really big XG merchants throughout the league this year. Possession-wise, we gave the battle to Ajax, but that's the beauty of this 4-3-3. It will dominate against the weaker teams, against the teams that have the possession. We actually sit there very compact, still at the press, but because we're so nailed, because we're so tight, we're very hard to break down. And barring one mistake from, I know it's been credited to Areola, but it was a mistake from Calvert-Lewin in build-up, we would have played out and been out the press and having an opportunity with Bowen when they scored. Without further ado, though, let's get into the Spurs game, which is absolutely massive here in the league. As you can see here, 6 points for us. Dortmund got beat by Ajax 2-1 at home. Dortmund lost, obviously, 2-1. And that puts us in a position that next episode, if we beat Dortmund, we're going to get out the group more likely than not. And that is absolutely monstrous in Season 2 in Glory Hunter. Let's go. 4 days later, YouTube, and here we are, West Ham versus Spurs. They're having a pretty poor year, to be fair, Spurs. Currently sit 13th. Conte's still in charge, but that could change, like it could do in real life. There's some reports. Andy Postecoglou could be the manager there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, obviously, no game played. But one bit of news, unfortunately for us, Thuram is out of the game with blisters of all things. Just get an injection, mate. Be okay. Which means you guys do get to see Zaniolo today. He's going to start on the right, and we're going to move Bowen out to the left-hand side. You can play left or right, and I prefer to start Bowen there. Outside of that, the midfield itself is in pretty good nick. Marino could start with the form he's in, but I am going to leave the midfield as is. Calvert-Lewin's in outrageous form. Still going to leave him as well. This is the first time Kurt Zoom has been fully fit too, so the rest of the team is fine. Only changes Pickford coming back into the team and has only conceded 6 goals and 8 appearances and 3 clean sheets, so that ain't too bad as well. At home, and we've been very dominant in the league. This would be a great game to go out there and continue that domination here to end off the episode. Let's go and have a look at the Spurs side to see if there's many changes. Loris, Dyer, Romero, Diamarco is there. So they have signed Federic Diamarco. Pretty good signing there as well. Pedro Porro, Bentancur, Emil, Destiny Doggy has come in as well. Great player. Dejan Richarlison, Maximiliano Gomez. No Harry Kane. No Harry Kane. Harry Kane is apparently injured with a knock. Very, very lucky is what I'm going to say. So no Harry Kane. And then the bench looks pretty stock standard. Jed Spice, Raul, Sisson-Young. All right, so a not a bad Spurs side with a couple of little signings. Any other signings that maybe they've made there that we have not seen? Let's have a look. Spurs transfer history of this year. Porro officially is there. Dejan officially is there. Gomez and and Jackson. That's it. Anyone on the outs of note? Oliver Skip, Lucas Moura. Yeah, nothing big changes. Davidson Sanchez of note. But yeah, look, this is a side that I think in the form we're in, we've got to be winning this game if we're one of the big deals this year. But without further ado, let's get into it here at the London Stadium. We're very good at the London Stadium. We generally in the Premier League dominate the ball and then thus dominate chances. But this is one of those games where Spurs, good pedigree, they might have a bit more of the ball, but will remain defensively solid. So far, though, 21 minutes in, this game's have not much in it at all. Only an extra 0.13 from one side. But, look, cagey affair. It is a derby match. The fans will expect me to do well against Spurs. We'll see what happens here. We've had a bit more over the first half, but I'm happy with this one kind of petering away at the minute. Important to note, Souček, yet again, not having the best of game in the middle of the park as well, but that's fine. Gonna say, I know we're not winning. I'm actually going to tell them it's not been good enough, to be fair, because we haven't been enough at the throat. And to be fair, if you tell me it's a draw against Spurs, I know this would be negative, but, you know, that's a pretty good point, to be fair. All right, we're now starting to dominate the game, which is good. So Nolo's not seen much from anyone here. 10 shots, 3 on target, 50% of possession. This game is just petering away. 70th minute, set piece. Calvert-Lewin head. Souček's there. That's going to count. Flick on from Calvert-Lewin to Souček. I was going to say after this highlight, maybe we'd go 4-2-3-1 as we're at home. We force the issue. But now in a very boring game, we take a 1-0 lead. But definitely not. That is definitely onside. So Calvert-Lewin flick on. And, you know, you've got to have more than one dimension. When you can't play for a team, sometimes you need to be a set-piece merchant. 2 big boys in the box. Sometimes that's all it needs the right. 70th minute. Spurs a little bit legless. They're going to have to come at us now. I am going to make a couple of changes, though. Bowen for Vlasic. Diarastica for Pasquetta to give us a little bit more one. I'm actually going to give Marino in for Souček. Sasado, light for light. Back four is going to stay the same as we are playing quite well defensively and give us a little bit more run in the middle of the park. Another set piece. Diarastica backstick looking for Zuma, doesn't find him. Richarlison on the break. Marino off the park wins. Vlasic now. Souček from distance. Loris, what a save. At full stretch, Loris keeps it at 1-0, or Souček has a double, and we are 2-0 up from 2 set piece plays. Diarastica off the bench is good from a set piece, and he whips that one in there, cleared away. Vlasic heads to Diarastica, and he finds Nolo, who's been very quiet, who's had a very good year, to be fair. Joe Gomez, and that's the highlight. We've limited Spurs only 2 shots and a .007, the James Bond XG. Now, can we just hold on here for as long as this game remains? 87 minutes played. From what we've seen, there's no reason to make a change here at all. Vlasic is going to go out to the other side. Calvert-Lewin to the back stick. Danny Ings to time waste here as an advanced forward. I'm just going to get Vlasic as an inside forward on the other side here as well. I don't want to make a back four change at all. We're playing so well. Sideward's actually going to come in here for Souček just to, if he needs to make a defensive tackle and get a booking, at least it's not a red card. Time ticks away. It's been an utterly dominant display. 93rd minute, Diarastica backstick, cleared away, but only as far as Marino is going to sweep. And barring some last-minute drama here from Spurs, this is going to be all she wrote. A collie wide, Estupian can drive in, just shoot, buddy. He will just shoot, and that's massively wide, I don't care. That should be all she wrote. A thoroughly professional performance at the London Stadium. Yeah, a little bit lucky to score from the set piece, but we were much the better side. 19 shots, 8 on target, XG of 1.29, slightly edged possession, and we only allowed .08 XG to Spurs. I tell you what, boys, if that's what we're producing in the league at home, we're going to be very hard to beat in the Premier League this year, and that's a very, very, very good sign when you have a game that's gone so quickly. I'm really delighted with the boys to go top. That's fine. Obviously, Liverpool will be able to play. They will overturn us with XG, of course. But that is a superb performance. That's 15 matches unbeaten, by the way, since the end of last season. Drew to City, beat Leicester, beat Forest, beat United, beat Liverpool, beat Southampton, beat Brentford, beat Norwich, beat Watford, beat Leeds, drew to Arsenal, beat Villa, beat Wolves, beat Brighton, beat Spurs. So 2 draws, 13 wins in our last 15 league matches. The big notes to take from that is we've beaten Liverpool and Man United at home. Big ticks. We've drawn to Arsenal away and we've drew to Man City at home. The rest of those sides there, 11 of those matches on paper, we need to win because we're a better team than what we are with the money we spent. we got to be beating the Leicesters, the Foresters, the Southampton, the Brentfords, the Norwich, the Watfords. We've had a really good run of fixtures. So as much as that looks fantastic and it's great, it's a really good run of fixtures, and it's always easier to play bigger games against bigger opposition when you're in really good form with really good morale. Always been proven. Obviously, things are about to change here. We've got Manchester United in the league next, and then I'm going to be back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for Dortmund and Chelsea. Chelsea historically knocking us out of the FA Cup when drawing to them last year, and Dortmund at home in the Champions League is absolutely huge, because if we beat Dortmund there, we're 9 points clear with a game to go there in Germany in the Champions League in Group C. And what that would mean for me is the episode after is going to be Dortmund and then Manchester City in 2 massive games in the Champions League and, of course, in the league as well. Until next time, though, thank you very much for watching. Give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and lucky last, we would have streamed by now on the Sunday. Down below is the links to my Twitch. We are going to look to stream at least once, maybe twice a week, this Glory Hunter Challenge where possible. I am quite a busy boy, but you know, we did it on Sunday last week, and I'm hoping that if it's not this Sunday that you watch, the following Sunday we're going to look to do it again, and we'll stream some Glory Hunter as well, so the link is down below. But without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and do enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you're watching from, and until next time, thank you and goodbye.